name is Aleksandra Hertelendi. I'm a Senior Principal Consultant at Hecht. And what I'd love to talk to you today is burnout, and most specifically how the way we are thinking about burnout can be actually getting in the way of tackling burnout effectively in the organization. Before we go into the ins and outs, it's important to know what exactly burnout is. And the WHO has defined burnout as a syndrome that is conceptualized by inefficiently managed stress throughout the prolonged time at workplace. And it's got three main characteristics, which is exhaustion, lack of engagement, i.e. cynicism, and reduced professional efficacy. So it's very important to know that all three need to exist at the same time in order to say that someone is actually burnt out. I very often hear clients talking about how people are burnt out, but in effect they are still engaged, they are still confident in their abilities, and therefore the strategies need to be something else if people are exhausted. You know, it's a different matter when someone is exhausted and literally just needs to take a holiday, or they have started to doubt their abilities and they are feeling cynical about the organization. And what we know from research that there are 6 main causes of burnout. These are unsustainable workload, insufficient rewards towards effort, perceived lack of control, lack of supportive community, lack of fairness, and mismatched values and skills. And especially the last one, so the mismatched values and skills, are very prevalent in diverse talent. Women, people of diverse backgrounds are the ones who are typically working below their level, before their level of their abilities in organization. And for them, you know, that is something that's a key source of burnout and exhaustions, because they need to show up as someone who they aren't in effect. So that's something to really keep in mind when you are looking at burnout. And there's some good news and bad news around burnout. The good news is that preventative measures of burnout, the wellness apps, the resilience training is something that's effective in tackling burnout. But the bad news is that once someone is burnout, giving them another app or talking about resilience is the last thing that they would want to have. That's not the right strategy for them to cope burnout. And we also know that if we are increasing the job resources of individuals, so increasing the mentoring, increasing the development opportunities, increasing feedback, that is counteracting the job demands that are driving the burnout. So the perceived lack of control, or the fact that they've got unsustainable workload. And we also know that really effective teams where people feel like they belong are also helping in reducing burnout. But what I've already alluded to in the mismatched skills and values, we know that your most engaged talent and your diverse talent is at the highest risk of burnout. But why do I say that it's the way we are talking about burnout that might be getting in the way of tackling burnout effectively? It's because we know from LHH's conversations with participants of our workshops that out of those 6 main causes, insufficient rewards towards effort, unsustainable workload, and so on and so forth, people typically feel that they are able to influence that to 30 to 40%. So many felt that it is within the organizational culture, it's within the organizational control to address those elements, and asking more of the individuals would be an absolutely unfair way of going about tackling burnout, because the message would be you are not strong enough to work here, but in effect what's driving burnout is the organizational culture, what's being rewarded, how people are talking about things that is causing people to actually burn out. So how to tackle burnout? And the key thing is to focus on autonomy, belonging, and competence, both for individuals and teams. And I would love to stress how important teams are in tackling burnout. So let's begin with autonomy, and let's look at your organization as to how can you create choices without adding fatigue for individuals, how they can feel like they are within the control of their workday, how they are structuring their workday. Those are the small little things that could give people autonomy. Research is showing that if people are focusing on something, that they can be autonomous at least one day a week, that's immediately helping to battle burnout. The second one is belonging. So creating psychological safety when someone is safe to speak up, safe to fail, and they've got unconditional trust from the rest of the organization. So the question is here: what's happening in the organization that's driving mistrust, or that is driving inability to speak up, or feeling like people cannot fail? Getting deeper in understanding and bringing that to the fore is what's going to help your organization tackle burnout effectively. And finally, competence. If people have got the ability and the knowledge to that they are, and then through that ability and that knowledge, they can grow in their roles, that gives the work meaning, and that meaning will also help them to tackle burnout. So in effect, to summarize, in order to battle burnout effectively in your organization, do not only focus on resilience training or awareness app. Look at how your organizational culture is contributing to the 6 main causes of burnout, and choose your strategy through creating autonomy, belonging, and giving people the ability to build their competence. And most importantly, look at how you are giving people purpose, and how the organization is driving towards the purpose. Because we know from the news around the world, people are voting with that faith and leaving organizations that they cannot connect to. So working on purpose and working on how managers can create purpose for the individuals is going to be key in tackling burnout in your organization.